The journey of 1,000 miles, they say, start with a single step. It's probably all about that moment that gives you that adrenaline rush, and then you decide that you want to follow your heart. And I promise that you guys already know that when you do something by your heart, it pays you big time. Women's CricZone today has come a long way. But it all started with an idea, an eagerness to give all the coverage to the women's game that it deserves. And someone who has led the way from the front is with us today, the CEO and founder of Women's CricZone, Yash Lahoti. So, welcome Yash first of all. Let's just start with the very beginning. अगर हम इस process की बात करें, like I have joined Women's CricZone from the last 2 months I've been working here, and I'm personally intrigued and fascinated today to know the journey from you. आप engineering student थे, so वो transition कहाँ से हुआ? When did you come in terms with the thing that you wanted to start something like this?
So it was never pre-planned. It was always the case that so I remember that I took my first job on 4th of July 2017, and a week before that, 27th of June I think, was the time that the 2017 Women's World Cup had started. So I was like, oh okay, I'm following this match. It's available on Hotstar. Most of the games are available on Star Sports. But if you see, not that much coverage was available for the 2017 World Cup. So I wanted to know about the players. I hadn't followed the game for about those 4 or 6 years when I was graduating. So मुझे जानना था कि अरे यार ये प्लेयर कौन है, वो प्लेयर कौन है, लेकिन उतना डिटेल में कहीं अवेलेबल नहीं था. स्कोर्स अवेलेबल थे लेकिन डिटेल में कहीं अवेलेबल नहीं था. तो मैं बोला यार चलो, बहुत ज़्यादा अगर मुझे ढूंढना पड़ रहा है तो सबको ही ढूंढना पड़ रहा होगा. सो ठीक है, एक सोशल मीडिया हैंडल बना लेते हैं. उस सोशल मीडिया हैंडल के ऊपर डाल देंगे, ट्वीट्स करते रहेंगे कि मैच में क्या हो रहा है, ये क्या हो रहा है, वो क्या हो रहा है. और उसके अंदर में वो ट्विटर का फेसबुक हुआ, इंस्टाग्राम हुआ. एंड so it was never that I wanted to make a company which was full-fledged running. उसमें रेवेन्यू आ रहा है, ऐसा कुछ भी प्लान नहीं था. मैं खुश था मेरे जॉब के साथ. इट वाज लाइक फर्स्ट फ्यू मंथ्स ऑफ माय जॉब एक्चुअली. एंड जब ये सब हुआ तो स्लोली अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स हैपेंड. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, जब ये सोशल मीडिया हैंडल्स बन गए तो अक्टूबर में अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल स्टार्टेड कमिंग एंड सेइंग कि अरे यार एक वेबसाइट बनाओ. सो देन द वेबसाइट केम इनटू पिक्चर इन डिसम्बर. देन इन मार्च अनदर वेबसाइट केम इनटू पिक्चर, क्योंकि ये स्टैटिक थी. फिर डायनेमिक वेबसाइट बनाई. तभी भी इट वाज ऑल फ्रीलांस बेस्ड. आई वाज डूइंग माय जॉब, एवरीवन वाज डूइंग एवरीथिंग. बट देन इंसिडेंट इन मार्च चेंज्ड अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, एंड दैट इज व्हेन आई थॉट दैट नहीं, अब दिस नीड्स टू कम टू अ लेवल वेयर इन I need to put my full-fledged effort so that this company actually comes true. क्योंकि एक बहुत सिंपल फैक्ट है कि अगर तुम किसी को एक NGO टाइप ट्रीट करते हो तो it's never going to be what it is going to be. But when you have revenues, profits flowing in, that is when the growth of anything can actually happen. So I think so that was the turning point. March 2018 is when I actually thought कि हाँ, let's do this full time.
And you said it started with a Twitter account, and
Yeah.
today we are 50k strong family on Twitter. So ये जो stories होती है, जो unfold होती है, more often than not हमको वो inspire करती है. So is there anything that unfolded in front of you that made you feel कि probably if I take this tiny step, it might go there and help a lot of people to change their lives as well?
या सो वही, मतलब जो मार्च 2018 में हुआ, इट वॉज बेसिकली आई वॉज एट द CCI स्टेडियम इन मुंबई. एंड वहाँ पे आई वॉज सिटिंग. इट वॉज अ ट्राई सीरीज, ऑस्ट्रेलिया इंग्लैंड इंडिया. ऑस्ट्रेलिया इंग्लैंड का मैच चल रहा था थर्सडे मॉर्निंग. आई वॉज देयर. लाइक 2 steps डाउन टू मी वॉज अ गर्ल कॉल्ड दुर्गा. शी वॉज सिटिंग विद हर पेरेंट्स, एंड अबाउट 100 meters फ्रॉम देयर शी वॉज कंटिन्यूसली रनिंग. लाइक दिस हैपेंड 3 or 4 times. So I went and asked her dad ki what's the thing. So her dad told me ki she wants to meet the commentators who were ex-cricketers, Mel Jones, Anjum, Isa. She wanted to meet them, which was right, but the security wasn't allowing her, and it was like 100 meters from the place we were sitting. So by then Mel and Isa used to follow us on Twitter. So I thought एक मिनट ठीक है, एक ट्राई दे सकते हैं. तो मैंने बिल्कुल नहीं सोचा था, मैंने जाके सिर्फ पूछा कि कैन आई टेक अ पिक्चर ऑफ अस. सो आई टुक अ पिक्चर ऑफ अस, आई अपलोडेड इट ऑन ट्विटर, आई टैग्ड Mel, Isa, Anjum. Mel immediately replies, hang her tight, we are coming. Something on those lines. And immediately after that, Mel was on comm. So Isa and Anjum came, sat in the crowd for 10 minutes, signed her bat. Isa even told her that come on the Sunday, it's an India-England game, I'll help you meet all the cricketers. उसके थोड़े देर बाद Mel came after the match got over. She met Durga. Now this is the incident which, and Sunday happened. Isa messaged me on Twitter that come. So Durga went and met all the England and Indian dressing room after the match on Sunday. So I think so that was the incident that actually told to me कि अरे यार ऐसी अगर एक लड़की है तो वैसी बहुत सारी लड़कियां हैं. And if this is a very simple thing, they were just wanted to meet the cricketer, nothing else. लेकिन अगर ऐसी एक क्रिकेटर है तो इसमें बहुत सारी क्रिकेटर्स हैं. And if this is the thing that I am doing, I'm actually feeling better. और उसी में अगर कुछ बहुत बड़ा हो जाए तो it's well and good. So of course it never started, and even that time I didn't have a revenue model or a business plan in my mind. But yeah, slowly things happened, and I think so that is where we are today.
And I'm quite sure कि अभी तक ऐसी बहुत सारी दुर्गा होंगी जिनकी लाइफ विमेंस क्रिकेट की स्टोरी से इंस्पायर हुई होंगी, और विमेंस क्रिक जोन ने अपना एक छोटा पार्ट वहाँ पे ज़रूर प्ले किया होगा. बट जब हम एक प्लेटफॉर्म की बात करते हैं जो विमेंस क्रिकेट कवर करते हैं, सो कंपेयर टू द मेल काउंटर पार्ट, हम comparatively the platforms are lesser there. Yeah. So there are a lot of things that you do for the first time. Yeah. So you're the first one to do it. It's of course a good thing because you can then go on and show people that what you're capable of, but it also brings its own challenges, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And without challenges, to be very honest, without challenges you will never thrive. Yeah. So अगर तुमको बड़ा होना है तो you will have to take whatever risk. So you need to have a risk appetite. Without that, no business can survive. I'll tell you, even the biggest of corporates. So for example, चलो ऑटोमोबाइल देख लेते हैं. So biggest of corporates, सब लोगों ने डीजल पेट्रोल व्हीकल्स चलाई इतने सालों तक. बट अभी जब तुमको स्मॉलर स्टार्टअप से कंपटीशन मिल रहा है इन टर्म्स ऑफ द ईवी सेगमेंट, so they have to change their thought process and bring in the EV thing. So EV bikes, EV cars, ये सब bigger corporates भी लेके आ रहे हैं. And that is the same case with the startup. Startup actually has to do it at a greater speed because startup के पास उतना पैसा नहीं होगा जो एक bigger corporate के पास होगा. So if you're competing or want to compete with them, first you need to have an innovation. And second, you need to actually take decisions quicker, which you can do at a startup level क्योंकि लोग कम है. You have to be answerable to lesser number of people, but at the same time you have to take those business decisions. Otherwise, you can never grow. So I think so innovations are a big part of it. Challenges are a big part of it, and without challenge you can never thrive.
Of course, and challenges make you do bigger things, of course. And अगर हम बात करें as an entrepreneur now, getting those stakeholders, the sponsors, like initially and now, that process would have been different for you. Probably the learnings didn't came from a classroom for you. You had to work on it on your own. So how has that been for you since the day you started and now?
I'll tell you one thing very honestly, classroom में ये कुछ भी नहीं सिखाया जाता. I don't know of a single college in this world, at least in India for that matter, wherein you are taught ABC of entrepreneurship in a classroom. It's not happening, and I don't think so it's going to happen in another couple of years at least. क्योंकि the learnings here are more practical, and the learnings there are more theoretical. You are never going to be taught how to read legal papers or how to check audit reports or how to hire people. These are things that are never taught. So मेरे हिसाब से वो बहुत डिफरेंट है टू वॉट इट इज़ राइट नाउ. एंड ऑफ कोर्स व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड आई हैड नो आइडिया कि बिजनेस कैसे वर्क करेगा. द फर्स्ट टाइम आई वेंट टू विनीत एंड आई वाज लाइक ओके आई वांट टू स्टार्ट दिस, एंड ही एक्चुअली लाइक द आइडिया, बट ही वाज लाइक मेरे पास बिजनेस प्लान रेडी नहीं था, मेरे पास कुछ रेडी नहीं था, और जो मैंने बिजनेस प्लान बनाया था दैट माइट हैव बीन वन ऑफ द वर्स्ट. अगर मैं खुद आज वो बिजनेस प्लान को देखूंगा तो मैं हंस दूंगा कि ये क्या बनाया था मैंने. लेकिन वहाँ से अभी तक इट हैज़ बीन अ लॉट चेंज्ड, एंड दैट इज़ व्हाट आई हैव डन इन द लास्ट 4.5 years. Business plans have been modified, a lot of pivots have happened, and I think so pivots are very important for any startup journey. क्योंकि अगर तुम शुरुआत में एक चीज़ लेके बढ़ गए हो, सो नेवर लव योर कंपनी, बिकॉज इफ़ यू लव समथिंग देन इट इज़ वेरी difficult for you to leave that particular thing. So the time I started in 2018, I had some set of ideas and goals to achieve, and I think so we've only achieved 20% of those, and 80% have changed. So that is where the pivot came, and I think so the major pivot came during the pandemic. That has taught us a lot. 6 months of no cricket, more than that rather. और उसके बाद में जो चीज़ें हमने की, I think so that have been major than to what we were doing before that. Of course, everyone starts at some level. लेकिन उसके बाद में those pivots are very much important, and I think so now we have reached to that level कि जहाँ पे अब pivot करने की उतनी ज़रूरत नहीं है. We've achieved what we wanted to achieve. And now it's more of an exponential growth that we need to do.
So 2017 से अभी तक अगर हम बात करें, जैसे कि आपने आपकी जर्नी का थोड़ा सा स्टार्ट हमको बता दिया था, but we have added a lot of feathers in our cap right now. We have a magazine. Apart from the website and the mobile app, we have the magazine today. We have award functions as well. And I'm quite sure that all of these things are making a greater impact, because when it comes to awards, we also take in consideration the grassroots cricketers. And the recognition, when you receive a recognition, it helps you to keep going and do better things as well. So what was the thought behind that, behind including all of these things in this setup?
I think so everything has been very gradual. जब शुरुआत की थी 2018 में, 17 में it was social media, 18 website, 19 I remember this, Sunandan Lele sir had just joined Women's CricZone. And we were facing a bit of difficulty, and that was the time he told कि अरे यार एक magazine शुरू करके देख लेते हैं, print magazine. So that was the idea, and when he told, I was a bit skeptical कि अरे यार क्या करेंगे हम, do we have the number of people, ये वो सब कुछ. But then we did it. So what we did was I approached Ananya told कि हाँ I'll do it. She first made a list of the people we wanted to approach. She called them up, mailed them, we got responses. This happened in 20 days. So 20 days mein, right from the initial start to the launch, everything happened for the first edition. Then of course we were very thankful to the BCCI because they helped us launch the magazine with 50 odd cricketers in Jaipur. That was the major turning point, क्योंकि अगर तुम एक normal launch करते हो तो not a lot of people will know it. Of course, I'm very thankful to Smriti because she agreed to be on the cover. I went to Sangli, we shot with her. Then and probably she, Ananya are probably the reasons why the magazine was very successful. And we never wanted to do it every month, क्योंकि अगर तुम हर month में अगर जाके दूंगा ना तो एक Forbes Outlook type हो जाएगा कि अरे यार this is happening every month. So people get bored. Then it is only on their stands, but nobody reads it. But when it comes every 6 months, people actually have that interest to read the magazine now. Then the awards, it was actually an idea that just floated when all of us were sitting in a team and they just told me कि अरे यार ऐसा कुछ तो कर सकते हैं. And then I was like, why not? So let's think about it. Let's create what we want to do. And then we started, I think so in September of 2019, we started thinking about it. And Jan of 2020, we actually executed it. Again, thankful to the BCCI because they helped all the top 50 Indian cricketers who were in Bhubaneswar to come to the event. We launched the event. It was really good. This year we weren't able to do an on-ground function, but I'm sure that we'll do that next year onwards.
The inspiring stories of the women's cricketers are today inspiring a lot of young girls to take up this sport as well. But if we have to talk about women's CricZone's story, that has been quite inspiring as well. So the way we started women's CricZone, we have come a long way here, but now there are a lot of expectations. The benchmarks are set higher in terms of everything, be it the content, the videos, the graphics. So what is that one thing that keep you going to take the company to a greater height from here?
I always think it is day one at an organization till the time you don't feel exhausted. मतलब I relate to one quote of Virat Kohli wherein he says that he always tries to give his 120%. The day he feels that I'm not able to give my 120%, I'll retire.
Yeah.
I will not be able to play the game anymore. But till the time I'm able to do this 120%, form is a part of it. But till the time I'm able to give my 120% on the field, I am going to play. The day I don't feel it, the day dil mein se utar gaya to utar gaya. I relate to that quote a lot. I feel that is how it works. Right now I feel we've not achieved the way we wanted to achieve. अभी बहुत सारा कुछ बाकी है. मतलब cricket is just a part of it. The women's sports industry in itself is huge, is big enough that there are a lot of things which are unexplored in India, in other countries, in a lot of parts of the globe, in different sectors.
Yeah.
So I think so. ये एक part है, media and cricket is a part of it. There are multiple other layers that we are going to add to all of this sooner, and that is what keeps me going every day. When I wake up every morning, I feel like, oh, okay, this is to be achieved, that is to be achieved, this call I have to do, that is something I have to do, and that is what keeps me going. If any day I feel like कि अरे यार हो गया खत्म, then it will be very difficult. But I don't feel that has ever happened in the last 5 years.
And I'm sure that won't happen because passion is something that would take you to greater heights, of course. But this women's CricZone's journey started from the 2017 ODI World Cup. Cut to 2022 ODI World Cup now, Yash. The entire planning that went to cover this World Cup in terms of every elements there. So how has this last 1 month been personally for you and for the company as well?
Exhausting. But at the same time, it has been just like a lot of Australians say that this was 5 years in the making.
Yeah.
I relate to that a lot. This was also 5 years in the making. It started with the 2017 World Cup, the 2022 World Cup. It comes a full circle. Alisa Gili, Megan Shoot, everyone has said that it was 5 years in the making. This was also 5 years in the making. So I relate to the Australian women's cricket team a lot here. कि यार जो 2017 में सिर्फ सोचा था कि अरे ऐसा कुछ तो भी है, वो अभी 2022 में पूरा एक सर्कल कंप्लीट हो चुका है. So whatever we wanted to achieve in that circle we have. So it started with a website, then a magazine, then awards. We streamed a few of the international matches and we are going to stream a lot more. So I think so when it completes a full circle, now I feel like we need to get into some other sector. We need to get into some other zone, which people will know very soon. And that is where a new journey starts. So the start, of course, but that does not mean that Women's CricZone is getting finished or over or something. This is going to grow, but at the same time, there are going to be multiple layers that are going to get added, and there is going to be a lot more things in the future that are going to happen.
So definitely something for you guys to have eyes tight on. But of course, when we talk about women's cricket, we can't just forget about the 2020 T20 World Cup final at the MCG. You of course were in the stadium. You saw the action unfold. So if you have to draw a parallel between the journey of women's cricket from the last 5 years and women's CricZone, how would you do that? Because this year we saw a lot of intense competitions, lot of games going down the wire, and it's probably one of the best World Cups that we've witnessed so far.
Yeah, of course, we've witnessed a lot of good World Cups, but this was certainly the best across men and women. More than 12 games, if I am not wrong, 10 or 12 games went down the wire, very close finishes. You don't generally see that in a World Cup. Generally, World Cups are the time then you see a lot of one-sided games. But herein we saw कि बहुत ज़्यादा close games थे. 2020 World Cup, of course, I watched that final from the MCG and it was a great experience, to be very honest, because the way Cricket Australia and the way ICC took it up, and if you see the amount of crowd support, the amount of celebrities that flew from India just for that World Cup, the amount of celebrities that flew from all over the... I was actually in the hospitality box and I could see that all the top stars of the women's game of the other countries were there, and it was a enriching experience, I'll say. Cut 2022, we couldn't travel, of course, because a lot of MIQ regulations in New Zealand, but digital wise this World Cup was even better, and I think so that is where Women's CricZone also has come. So if you see 2017 we were nowhere, 2018 World Cup in between, I remember working with 2 interns and doing that entire World Cup. 2020 World Cup, we had a team of 7-8 odd people, and we were doing with Adam Collins and Izzy Westbury, we were doing just reviews, end of the day reviews. And cut 2022, now we were doing with Dhanevan Nikak, Julia Price and 4 other experts, we were doing a pre-mid post-match show. So I think so, if you see, the growth has been there, and the growth will be more come the Commonwealth Games, come the first ever Under 19 World Cup, the T20 World Cup, the growth will be more.
So of course we've streamed quite a few matches as well. So what was the thought behind that? Because of course we want to sort of give that coverage to women's cricket. That's what our aim was at the first place, and what's the way ahead?
So the reason we went into live streaming, one, this happened during the pandemic. Pandemic में तुम्हारे पास और बहुत सारा कुछ करने को है नहीं, मैचेस हो नहीं रहे हैं, कुछ कंट्रीज थे जहाँ पे एसोसिएट क्रिकेट के मैचेस हो रहे थे. So that is where the idea started, and it all started because what I'll say, something like, so if you see the countries that we stream, and there is a very simple line that I follow, that if you can't see something, you cannot aspire to be it. So it's a very simple line, but आप देखो ना, so we've seen men's cricket all the years when we were children, and that is the reason probably that we follow men's cricket, we know men's cricketers of the past, and we know everything. When it comes to women's cricket, because it was not on TV or OTT for majority of our childhood years, we do not aspire to be that. The next gen would want to aspire to be a Smriti or a Jemmy or someone else, but this generation does not. So that is where it all started, and then it was like 62 countries in the world are playing women's cricket, but only a handful of few are getting streamed. बाकी हमको पता ही नहीं है कि इसके मैचेस भी होते हैं और हम स्ट्रीम कर सकते हैं. And that is where I approached a few boards, I asked them, and they were very happy. Johan from Namibia, Shan from Thailand, a lot of these people were very happy in taking it up ki, let's do this. So we started streaming their matches. We streamed a tournament in Rwanda, we're going to stream a tournament in Namibia, again in Rwanda, in Thailand, in Brazil. So there are a lot of tournaments that we have in our picture and we are going to stream. And I think so that's the way forward. When it comes to top nations, we will give them analytical content, interviews, news, all those things. When it comes to the smaller nations, we'll stream their matches as easy as it goes.
Definitely. So we've come a long way, yet a long way awaits. So before we wrap this up, let's just have a quick message from Yash to all our followers. Of course, you guys have also been a very important part of this journey. Apart from us, the team, apart from you, and there are a lot of people who've been a part of this process. So special message for them before we wrap this up.
Let me first thank all my investors, because it is very important for a guy who's 23, 24 year old that time, now 27, to even think about ki we want to put money on this guy or put money on this idea and grow this up. So to all the investors, I cannot take name because the cap table is a bit longer. To all of them, I really want to thank them, because see, following or supporting is a different thing, but to actually put your money and say that this thing is going to grow, say now, not now, 5 years down the line, that in itself shows that yes, a lot of people put their mind, effort, money there and said that yes, do this is going to go a long way. To all the sponsors, of course we are not able to give you as good a coverage as a Star or a Sony or an ESPN would do, but at the same time to put that faith and effort ki yes, this is something that these people will do, in itself shows a lot of things. So that is very important. So thankful to all the sponsors that we've had over the years, and to the fans, I think so the platform was made just because you people were interested. You people showed that interest. Yes, we want to follow women's cricket. Yes, we want to do this, and that was the reason the platform was made. And now it is ultimately your responsibility that the platform actually grows, because हमारी टीम पूरा एफर्ट डाल लेगी, लेकिन अगर कोई देखेगा ही नहीं तो इट डज नॉट मेक एनी सेंस. So all the fans, very thankful to whatever you have done. We are a family of more than 250k now on social media itself. So they watch it, and that's why we are able to produce those efforts. So that is very important, and I'm actually absolutely very thankful to them, very thankful to my entire team, because see, it's one thing is to do it alone, one thing is to make sure like-minded peoples come together and do this entire thing together. So building the team in itself is the most difficult job that I have faced. Like getting investors would be easy, everything would be easy. Getting sponsors might also be easy. But building the right team, I think so that's the most difficult part. So getting like-minded people saying that yes, this is the thing to go, that in itself achieves more or less the entire thing.
So of course, we've been giving all the efforts that we can to cover the women's game, and we promise that we'll keep doing so. And you of course stay tuned to Women's Crick Zone for all the updates on women's cricket.